This is not Ellie. And no, I'm not talking about her looks, or how Bella Ramsey in no way resembles Ellie from the games. I'm saying that Bella's acting is bad. She doesn't embody Ellie, and I'm tired of people pretending otherwise. This was already an issue in Season 1, but now it's even worse. This is Ellie. In the games, Ellie was an innocent person forced to grow up way too fast while trying to navigate a broken world. The show's version gives us a completely different Ellie, one that is clearly worse in my opinion, because instead of nuance, we get a generic snarky brat who thinks she can handle everything, is very hard to like, and is about as one note as a literal piano note. And this lack of range is demonstrated when directly compared to the games.
Tell them that Ellie is the little girl that broke your fucking finger.
Versus
Tell them that Ellie is the little girl who broke your fucking finger!
Bella Ramsey's Ellie has only two emotions, angry gremlin and whimsical goofball, with literally nothing in between. It feels like Bella's acting is a TikTok parody of itself.
That one quirky girl who no one likes.
With every episode, HBO keeps proving that casting Bella Ramsey was a big mistake. Honestly, the casting in general is bad. Does Pedro Pascal look like Joel?
Maybe.
But he certainly doesn't act like Joel. Pedro isn't as bad as Bella, but his vulnerable, soft therapy-going rendition is a stark contrast to the hardened, emotionally closed-off Joel we saw in the games. You can't tell me they weren't trying to push some sort of agenda with what they did.
So, communism.
We're communists.
I don't mind actors who don't exactly resemble their counterparts, as long as they embody the character. But what they did with Joel and Ellie is just disrespectful. It's impossible to convince me that they overlooked Kaylee Spaney and
Jimmy fucking Lannister
to instead go for an autistic and a. It's crystal clear they're trying to send a message and not a subtle one, and I hate it. There's no way you can convince me that a 5-foot-something little girl can take down a 10-foot-tall mountain man and make him tap.
How you can tap? Go sleep. Go sleep.
Girl power propaganda that goes against basic human biology aside, it's funny to me how in the first season's poster, Bella Ramsey was about as tall as Pedro's shoulder, but in Season 2, they shamelessly edited her to make her almost as tall as Pedro, who's like 6 feet tall. Nicely done, guys. HBO had a clear, canonical 5-year time skip that they could have used to recast Ellie, but I guess some mistakes are beyond fixing, even though a recasting would have been less jarring than trying to convince me that Bella looks like a 19-year-old Ellie. Hell, even Dina looks more like Ellie than Bella. What's weird about the casting choices to me is the inconsistency, because for some characters in the show, their casting is almost 1-to-1 compared to their game versions, while for others, it couldn't be more different. By far the best casting in the show so far is Marlene, who happens to be played by literally the same actress in both the game and the show. But the thing is, for some fuck-ass reason, her acting in the show is still worse.
Once they remove it, they'll be able to reverse engineer a vaccine. A vaccine.
Versus
He thinks it could be a cure, Joel. A cure.
I don't know what voodoo black magic shit HBO is doing, but everyone's lines in the show just sound rushed, and all complexity is lost in lieu of sounding big and loud.
Why don't you say whatever speech you got rehearsed? Get this over with.
Versus
I have waited
Just shut the fuck up and do it already.
And this is where the game's brilliance really shines. Where the game had layered characters and concise dialogue, the show is about as superficial as the casting directors are for race-swapping everyone for no reason. Even 12 years later, The Last of Us remains one of the greatest feats of cinematic storytelling, and it doesn't seem like the show is going to be any match.
You actually are pretty handsome. Congrats on that.